Hi, I'm Chuck Garcia. In the early 1900s, the French Ministry of Education, in an attempt to try to better understand why are some of their students struggling in elementary and secondary education, they contracted with a gentleman named Alfred Binet, a psychologist, to develop a measure and metrics to better understand why are some of our students struggling. And they did this because at that time, France required all children to go to school. And if they were going to invest in the education of their children, who were going to be their future, they wanted to ensure that if everybody learns at different rates, how do we help those who aren't learning as quickly? Binet then developed something called the IQ test, the intelligence quotient. And years later, it's a bit misunderstood, thinking that it's a measurement of somebody's IQ. He or she with a higher one must be the smartest person in the room. That wasn't exactly what it was intended, because what Binet was going for was something different. Not just to be able to study the acumen of how one learns science, technology, engineering, math, but he also wanted to see social skills. How well does somebody learn under pressure? Can they communicate? But for all those years after the IQ test, which was effective, not much really happened in the realm of these quotients until the early 1990s, when the emotional intelligence quotient was developed. But now we've got other cues, which I've written about, which include creativity quotient and the execution quotient. But in this week's article, I talk about something totally different. It's called the spiritual quotient, SQ. What is the measure of those qualities inside us that make us us? And can they be measured and developed? Well, in this week's article, I talk about the three components of SQ: responsibility, humility, and happiness. I hope that you will take all of these cues and recognize how important they are becoming in the social science of helping ourselves, helping our children, and for part of our professional development, these career cues, which include not just intelligence quotient, but emotional, creativity, execution, and now spiritual, to round off many of these different areas of professional development that help us to be better at our jobs, but also help us to be better people. I'm Chuck Garcia, and thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the series on career cues.